What's going on, everybody? GemMint here, back with another omnibus review. This is actually the third time I've made a video with this book. The first time I did it with a haul, then realized that it had missing text on the inside and had to be destroyed in order to get a correct copy. And then now I read it and we're going to do a thorough review with you guys. Before I get started though, I want to thank Whatnot for sponsoring this video. You guys got to download the Whatnot app, easily the best place to buy and sell your comics and collectibles. I'm on there every Wednesday starting at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for 1 hour, 1 minute long, $1 auctions. Going to be having some omnibus this Wednesday as well as some variant covers, so come swing by and hang out for that hour. With that being said, let's jump into this review. All right, guys, so here's the front of the dust jacket. It's got good artwork on it. Who's that one? By Rags Morales. Sholey Fish is credited here as the backup writer. You have the spine here. The back, cover price $75. What does it collect? Issue 0 through 18 with annual 1. So it's a modern DC omnibus. It doesn't tell you what issue you're on. I don't even think it gives you the cover. It might give you the cover with like a no trade dress. Here's the inside. You kind of got some reviews from big publishers, biography on the creative team. And then here we have the actual hardcover itself. Superman by Grant Morrison. This is basically the new 52 Action Comics run. So I just recently reviewed Superman, The Exile, Death and Return of Superman. I've been on a Superman kick. Here is the credits. This is the up-to-date version. Table of contents. But I wonder if it even has page numbers. I know that's kind of like another issue they have. All right, so it does give you the covers. No trade dress. We're jumping into Superman. So basically what this is, and this is kind of how I came up with the thumbnail, this is like Grant Morrison's reinterpretation of Superman, a Superman reboot, if you will. We're going to an era where he's kind of new to the game, newly learning his powers. He can't even fly yet. He just leaps tall buildings with a single bound. He has kind of more of an attitude, and as you can see, he has a t-shirt with jeans. So I kind of like how Morrison incorporated that aspect into this story with how he got the t-shirts and that whole thing. But this is basically a young Superman. He's trying to help out. He's trying to do the right thing. He's Clark Kent. Now, Morrison's Clark Kent is a little bit different. I don't know. He seems like more of a real reporter, like a Lois Lane level reporter. And they're working for rival newspapers at this point. She's with the Planet. He's with something else. Here we have him stopping a train. I like the artwork. I like the paneling. This was a good #1 issue for the Action relaunch. And then they play with kind of what they did in Batman vs. Superman, or Man of Steel, actually, where Superman actually gets captured or taken in. And look at this. Like right away, early in his career, he's got rage face. He's taken in by the authorities. But obviously, you know, he's got super strength, and they do torture him. That's where we get Lex Luthor here. So this is pretty interesting. I think that some of these scenes were the scenes that were lacking text in the first version. I like the kind of idea that the cape is from Krypton and the cape is indestructible as well, and they try to run all types of tests on it. I think there was no dialogue on this page, if I remember, on the original omnibus that I had to destroy. So this is just basically Luthor finally has this new superpowered being. They don't even have a name for him yet in his clutches, and he can learn about him. Another cool thing Morrison does here is the ship is sentient, and it talks to Kal-El throughout this series. So I kind of like that, and that plays out through the end of this run. Here's Superman meeting Lois at first, kind of an homage to Action 1 down here. And then right away it's teasing something, an alien presence who's dealing with Lex Luthor. So we start to get there. So then we do Krypton. This also reminded me of Man of Steel, like kind of seeing Krypton through this different lens. It's pretty cool. It looks like it's an alien planet, and it goes obviously to the destruction of Krypton. Flashing forward, see here, like Clark, very like schlumpy, which is not how he's depicted at all, you know, in like the original run. So this kind of like Peter Parker-esque Clark Kent I found a little weird, but I still rolled with it. I understand it's Morrison's interpretation. It's all good. So I'm trying to remember what happens here. I guess Brainiac ends up coming through using this Luthor technology and this suit. I forget who the guy is. I wanted him to be, what was it, Delgado? Was it Jose Delgado, the gangbuster? But I think it's somebody else altogether. Same kind of vibes, though. This guy volunteers to be part of this program. Brainiac essentially comes in as the internet, and this is like a more high-tech suit that he's able to really put his sentience in. So Brainiac ends up becoming a big part of this arc here. And then we get introduced to Steel early on. What is it? John Henry, the Iron Hammer guy. So that's pretty interesting. They really make Steel way more realistic in this run, and Shirley Fish writes a series of backups, just Steel backups here. I don't know, he just seems to have more intelligence. He knows he's not a Superman type of hero, but he does what he can. It just seems like he's more fleshed out, I guess, here. I don't know. It just feels more like, here you go. That's what I was trying to remember. I'm a steel driving man. So he gets a few backups. I liked it. He seemed like older, more knowledgeable. He seemed more like a scientist and less like a street guy. So here we go, the Brainiac stuff. Of course, we get the shrunken cities and that whole thing. Superman testing his limits and his powers on how fast he can run. Can he run fast enough to jump into orbit to confront this alien ship? His shoes are being torn apart. He straight Grand Theft Auto styles, hits this truck lift to boost himself up. So that's pretty cool. Doomsday's decision. Yeah, so what happened here? I'm trying to remember. I feel like there's like a different version of Doomsday that gets activated here. That's like a Kryptonian tank type of robot. Or am I thinking about something else? We'll have to wait till we get to it. So this is where Superman actually gets his new 52 suit, right? So he ditches the shirt and the jeans. He finds some of his Kryptonian garb from Brainiac, and now he's full-on armored out. And then again, like I said, the Shirley Fish Steel backups. Him saving this ferry. They were interesting, though. They kept my attention. So then we get into the Brainiac story, the Collector of Worlds. This is where we start getting, some Legion of the Superheroes. They kind of play a smaller role, I guess, more towards the end of this arc here. And that's where it gets very Morrison-y. So as I was reading this, I'm like, this is just like a reimagining reboot of Superman. I tweeted, like, this is like the least Morrison thing I've ever read from him. But like right after I tweeted that, and I'm like more than like 3/4 of the way into the book, man, it goes crazy Morrison. It goes kind of like different timelines and back and forth and stuff. Superman gets the key to the city, so now he's kind of falling into that role that we know him as, still kind of just jumping away, learning how to fly. That's a pretty crazy cover. This is where we first get introduced to these hunters. I feel like they're called Nimrod. Yeah, I guess they're like time traveling and hunting dinosaurs in the past and things like that. That's a cool cover here as well. So another flashback to Krypton, introducing Krypto into the mix, as well as the Phantom Zone, and kind of like a General Zod crew. They don't actually bring in Zod, but somebody with a similar name who becomes a villain here gets released out of the negative zone when Krypton gets destroyed. You know, that same type of story, but just like a Morrison reimagining of it, showing how Jonathan and Martha Kent found the ship but lied about the baby to take Clark in, and then how Luthor ends up with the ship here now. And then we get introduced into some kryptonite. I think they call it like K, and then there's like a K laser and stuff like that. So they kind of like, the way that they talk about kryptonite feels a little bit different in this run as well. Yeah, so it gets a little Morrison-y. So then we have like a younger version of Clark Kent hanging around with the Legion of Superheroes. Like I said, it kind of goes back and forth through time a little bit. And then it kind of feels like at one point that they go to this time after he died fighting Doomsday, but it was like not that version of Superman. Speaking of not that version of Superman, we visit, what is it, Earth 23 with President Superman. Yeah, then we have this big robotic. I feel like this is the Doomsday of this run. Yeah, now we're back to this like Nimrod group, that these hunters, they want to be the ones to kill Superman. It's kind of like Kraven the Hunter in the DC universe. See, now we're flash forward here. We have the Justice League around. So it kind of goes through like a lot of decades of Superman pretty quickly to kind of get caught up to modern times. See how I'm saying it flashes back? Now we're back to him in a shirt with jeans, like he doesn't have the suit anymore. It gets Morrison-y with time. When the Legion of Superheroes get introduced, it starts going off the rails a little bit. See, right? Because like your t-shirt and jeans, and then here you're with the suit. Yeah, then we have like Metallic becomes a big villain towards the end of here as well. So Metallic, I guess they do a little bit of a backstory, and then he's able to kind of traverse through different people. And then he takes form of this like energy character. Yeah, so here's even like a flash a flashback that never happened, like him being married to Lois Lane, but it didn't really happen, and now she's dying. Like I said, it gets very trippy and Grant Morrison-y. Yeah, so they're telling the story of this character, and it's almost like he has like a parallel origin to Superman. Came to this Earth on a rocket, but he had like telekinesis and different types of powers. Oh, this was a good scene too. So Superman, for the first time, like performed surgery with his eye lasers to save Lois, who has these shattered ribs. That was pretty well done. Okay, then it gets really Morrison-y. So Mixoplixic or whatever, people from that fifth dimension, as you can see this woman right here, start coming into the mix. And that's when this gets super crazy, man, and just super off the rails. So some Clark Kent hanging out with Jimmy Olsen. I kind of like the way that Morrison took the time out to show them like hanging out as really being friends. This was a cool little story. The boy who stole Superman's cape. So Superman takes an RPG to the chest. He's passed out on the floor. This kid runs off with his cape. And just like the day in the life of this kid and dealing with bullies and how he punches the kid through the cape and it hurts like crazy. That was kind of a little story that they actually called back to it. And it looks like that's when we first get this mystic, Mr. Triple X, who is, I guess, Mixoplixic in the third dimension, coming here on Earth as a magician. I like the artwork and the emotion in this boy with the Superman's cape as well. Again, Superman stops the whole train instead of just swooping him away. Okay. All right, so here's like a nice interaction with Steel and Superman kind of going to the laboratory. You have his armor there. He's all freaked out about Superman not being in a hazmat suit because of the radiation. And speaking of which, we have the kryptonite here, and that starts to come into play. They actually zap this guy full of the kryptonite to make him super strong to battle against Superman. And I guess he has a grudge against him because he was a wife beater, and Superman got the wife away into like, you know, witness protection, and he's got a resentment for Superman on that. But this is where Steel comes in, and it's kind of like showing how as a human he can take down a villain just like Superman can, or when Superman can't, I should say, in this scenario. This was actually pretty funny to show how Lex Luthor got the kryptonite, how he kind of stole it with the whole "it's not in my hand" trick. Very dope story showing Superman getting Krypto out of the Phantom Zone, and then we start to get that new villain that comes through from the Phantom Zone as well. That all starts to take place here. Very cool when he gets Krypto. Like here we go right here. Saves him right here from the Phantom Zone. You gotta love a dog story. Here's a flashback of Krypto, a boy and his dog. So Clark, as a child on Krypton with Krypto, and how Krypto was always by his side. Even though he was in the Phantom Zone, like I guess he's still on that same plane with him. He just can't see him type of, you know, like he's a ghost. So showing that how he was always there. That's pretty cool, man. So this is a pretty cool story too. So you have humans on Mars. I guess they're trying to colonize it. Superman hears their cry from Earth and shoots on over to Mars to help save them. That's the Mission on Mars story here. See, now he's got the suit on. The timeline, even on this run, just feels weird. Then they have to fight these angels. I guess this kind of cosmic entity, what we would think were angels, come down, and Superman's got to battle them, and then he learns. Basically, he has to attack them all at once. It's like a hive mind kind of thing. And that's when you have like the fifth dimension people starting to mess with him. This was another cool interaction showing Krypton because of how light travels. So this is like the explosion of Krypton that we're finally seeing in real time. It finally caught up with us based on the speed of light, how it travels. So, you know, Morrison, he likes to play with that kind of stuff too, you know, like that kind of scientific stuff. And you got the Superman and End of Days. It felt like Days of Future Past, kind of. And then, boom, here we go. Fifth dimension stuff. It gets super confusing. I feel like Lana, who was like Superman's girlfriend back in Kansas, is a fifth dimension person in this book, but I could be wrong. I don't know. It could have messed with my mind. Yeah, so here's the whole backstory on that kind of crazy planet with fairies and the fifth dimension and everything, and this child that was born as music or something like that. And then onto this Doomsday 2.0 machine kind of thing. You know, the snake with the gun. This reminded me of Rick and Morty. Yeah, so here it is. The second death of Superman. So somehow Superman, that we've been reading this whole time, goes back to this world where Superman has died fighting Doomsday, right? And there's the memorial and everything. And he's still fighting this mummy guy. And I don't know, time and reality got all messed up somewhere in this book, and it kind of lost me. Like I said, starts when the Legion shows up, then the Mixoplixic stuff. Yes, or is it Super Doomsday? That's what the machine is called? Oh yeah, also in this world, Martha and Jonathan Kent have been dead the whole time. I thought that was crazy interesting too. So they've been dead the whole time, even him as a young Superman. Now you got Superman battling Super Doomsday in this world where Doomsday already killed Superman. Then it starts taking form like as Superman. It almost has properties of like cyborg Superman, it feels like. And here goes Lex Luthor saving Superman because, of course, only Lex Luthor can kill Superman. And then here's this Superman. I guess in this world, Jonathan Kent is alive, so he goes to visit him. But it must be multiverse or something like that, man. Like I said, it got confusing. Or Superman travels into his younger body when he's going to prom, something like that. And then here we're ending it off: Luthor versus Super Doomsday / Cyborg Superman. See, I guess he's really taking on more of like a Clark Kent Superman / Doomsday look. Yeah, I don't know what's going on anymore. I don't know what happened here, man. But I know it ends off with him and Krypto just kind of like with a joke. Hey, Superman, you look like shit. Oh, you should see the other guy. And then just wraps up the Legion of superhero stuff. And that's it, man. That's the whole run. We have a variant cover gallery here. Jim Lee, sketch and color. EVS. Rags, which is the dust jacket. We got Michael Choi here on the right. Gene Ha and Art Line on the left. Some Jor-El stuff. Another Rags piece. Two of them. It's Brian Hitch. Cliff Chang. He has a very distinct style. I like his Catwoman DC Black Label book right now. Fiona Staples. What do we got here? I guess an interview with Morrison and Morales. Yep. Some sketch work. Super Doom, that's what they call them. That's right. There goes Steel. If you didn't get a good look at him before. K-Man, that's what they called him. Like Kryptonite Man. Yeah, that's what his name is. Like Vindix Stivix. I couldn't say his name, but it's fifth dimension character. All right, guys, there we have it. So here's my thing. This wasn't a chore to read. Like, I enjoyed it. The artwork was decent. It was modern. Some cool concepts mixed with some familiar stuff. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't, like, recommend anybody read this run. Like, if someone said, yo, Jen, what Superman story should I read? I would never think, hey, read Morrison's Superman or Morrison's Action Comics. So for those reasons, I cannot give it the Gem Mint seal of approval. Like, it was decent, it was okay, but not something to write home about, not something I would recommend. As with most Morrison stuff for me, a little bit confusing at times, but it was an okay read nonetheless. Let me know what you guys think about the Superman by Grant Morrison Omnibus in the comments down below, and stay minty fresh. Peace.